A lot of people spend years thinking about starting a garden. They watch videos, they pin ideas, they buy a book or two, and then another spring goes by and nothing gets planted. If that sounds familiar, this is the video that ends that cycle. You don't need experience. You don't need a big yard, expensive tools, or a perfect piece of land. What you need is a plan and the willingness to follow it. That's exactly what this is. By the end of this video, you'll know what to do, in what order, to have real food growing in actual soil this spring. Step 1. Pick your space. Before you spend a single dollar or touch a single seed, walk outside and look around. You are looking for one thing and one thing only: sunlight. Most vegetables need at least 6 hours of direct sun per day. 8 hours is better. 10 hours is ideal. The sun is not negotiable. You can improve bad soil. You can build a raised area on top of grass. You can haul in compost by the truckload. You cannot manufacture sunlight, and no amount of effort will make a shady spot produce the way a sunny one will. So before anything else, figure out where your sun hits. If you're not sure, spend one day actually watching your yard. Check it at 8 in the morning, again at noon, and then at 3 and again at 5. You'll know within a single day exactly where the sun tracks across your property and for how long. Don't pick a spot because it's close to the hose or because it's out of the way. Pick it because the sun hits it hard and stays there. Everything else can be adjusted. The sun cannot. Once you've found your sunny spot, take note of a few other things. Is there access to water nearby? Is the ground relatively flat, or does it slope? Is there anything overhead, like tree branches or roof overhangs, that could block afternoon light? None of these are deal breakers, but knowing them now saves you headaches later. If you're starting your first garden this year or just love gardening in general, hit subscribe, because I'll be pushing out a ton of new content in the coming weeks. Step 2. Decide how you're growing your vegetables. You've got 3 main options, and all 3 of them work. Your job is to pick the one that fits your situation right now, not the one that sounds most impressive. The first option is in-ground growing. You're working directly with the existing earth, loosening it, improving it with compost, and planting straight into it. This works well when your native soil is decent, not too hard, not full of clay or rocks. If you're on a property with dark soil that crumbles easily in your hand, going in-ground is a solid choice and costs almost nothing. The second option is raised areas. Instead of dealing with whatever's already in the ground, you build a simple frame, fill it with a quality soil mixture, and plant into that. Raised areas warm up faster in spring because the sun hits them from multiple angles. They drain well and don't get compacted from foot traffic if you keep them narrow enough to reach the center without stepping inside. If your native soil is hard, rocky, or full of clay, this is your path. The third option is grow bags and containers. A 10-gallon grow bag gives you enough root space for a tomato plant, a pepper, a small cucumber, or a generous mix of salad greens. If you're gardening on a patio or renting, this is how you do it. Containers are also movable. If a spot gets less sun than you thought, you pick it up and move it. Pick one method and commit to it for this first season. Don't split your energy across all 3. Pick the one that fits where you are right now. Do it well and expand later. Step 3. Build or prep your growing area. How you prep depends on the method you chose, so let's go through each one. If you're going in-ground, use the no-dig method. Lay cardboard directly on the surface of the ground. Overlap the edges of each piece by at least 6 inches so there are no gaps for weeds or grass to push through. Wet the cardboard down, then pile a minimum of 6 inches of compost right on top of it. That's the entire process. The cardboard smothers whatever's underneath. Underneath that layer of cardboard you're covering with compost, something incredible starts happening in the soil. The worms and soil organisms break it down over the following weeks. You plant directly into the compost layer on top of the cardboard, and by the time plant roots need to go deeper, the cardboard is soft enough to pass through. No digging, no renting equipment, just cardboard and compost. If you're building a raised garden bed area, keep the design simple. Make it 2 to 4 feet wide so you can reach the center from either side without stepping inside. For depth, 10 to 12 inches is enough for most vegetables. Fill it with a mixture that's roughly half quality topsoil and half compost. Water it in and let it settle for at least 1 day before planting. If you're using grow bags or containers, fill them with potting mixture, not garden soil. Garden soil compacts inside a container, drainage gets cut off, and roots end up sitting in wet, airless conditions. Potting mixture stays loose, drains properly, and holds the right amount of moisture even in a confined space. Don't skip this detail. It matters more than most people realize. Step 4. Choose what to plant. This is where a lot of beginners go wrong, and it usually happens because of excitement. They want to grow tomatoes and peppers and cucumbers, and all of that sounds great. But those are warm season crops. They need warm soil and warm nights. If you put them in the ground right now in most of zones 5 through 7, a cold night will wipe them out. For a spring garden starting in March, you want cool season crops. These are plants that not only tolerate cool temperatures, but actually prefer them. Many of them can handle a light frost without any damage at all. The crops you want right now are lettuce, spinach, arugula, kale, chard, radishes, and peas. Add to that the brassica family: broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts. These are your March crops. They go in the ground now. Lettuce and spinach are the best starting point for a first-time grower. They sprout quickly, often within 1 week. They show you results fast, which matters when you're just getting started and need to see that something is actually working. Radishes are worth planting, even if you don't love eating them. Some varieties are ready to harvest in under 25 days. Plant them between slower growing crops to use every inch of space and get harvests while you're waiting for everything else to catch up. Peas are one of the most rewarding early season crops. They need something to grab onto as they grow. Simple stakes with twine string between them is enough. Fresh peas harvested straight from the plant taste completely different from anything you'll buy at a grocery store. Plant them now. If you're in zone 8 or warmer, you have more flexibility and can start thinking about warm season crops like beans. But even in the warmer zones, cool season greens still go in first. Step 5. Plant the right way. Planting correctly takes about 3 minutes per row and makes a real difference in how well things come up. Don't rush this part. For seeds planted directly in the soil, make a shallow trench or poke individual holes at the depth listed on the seed pocket. A seed planted too deep runs out of energy before it reaches the surface. A seed planted too shallow dries out before it can establish roots. The depth on the packet is there for a reason. Use it. Drop the seed in, cover it lightly, and water it in gently. Not a hard spray that moves the soil around, but a soft shower that settles everything in place and provides moisture without washing the seed away. For young plants you started indoors or bought from a garden center, dig a hole slightly deeper than the root mass. Set the plant in so the soil surface of the young plant sits level with the soil surface of your garden. Firm the soil around the base with your hands so there are no air pockets. Water it well right after planting. Pay close attention to spacing when planting your vegetables. The distance listed on the seed pocket is not a suggestion. Plants that are too close together compete for nutrients, shade each other out, stay wet longer, and get sick more easily. It always feels like you're wasting space at first. Properly spaced plants outperform crowded ones every single time. Step 6. Water consistently and mulch everything. Seeds need moisture to sprout. Not standing water, not soggy soil, just consistent dampness at the surface. Check the top inch of soil every morning. If it has dried out, water it. If it's still moist, leave it alone and check again the next day. Once seedlings are a few inches tall, they become more resilient. But during those first days after planting, consistent moisture is everything. Don't let the surface dry out and crack. After your plants are up and growing, add mulch. This is one of the highest return things you can do in a garden, and most beginners skip it. Spread 2 to 3 inches of straw or dried leaves around the base of your plants, keeping it a couple of inches away from the stems themselves. Mulch holds moisture in the soil, so you water less often. It keeps soil temperature steady so plants don't stress through warm days and cold nights. It stops most weeds before they ever get started. A mulched garden looks better, produces better, and takes far less maintenance. Put it down early and leave it there. That's the complete system. Pick a sunny spot, choose your growing method, prep the area correctly, plant cool season crops now while the timing is right. Water consistently and get mulch down early. None of this is complicated. The only thing that stops people is waiting until they feel ready. You don't get ready by watching more videos. You get ready by putting something in the ground and seeing what happens. If this video helped you, the next one will take you even further. It's built for gardeners who are serious about actually producing food.